Radio that keeps you up at night. It's LoveLine, only on WEBN.
I love our intros. And what are these things called? Bumpers? And listen, are these things bumpers? These things are great. Thank you, Mike. It's LoveLine, 1-800-LOVE-191. I'm Dr. Drew. Adam Carolla is out fraternizing with the stars. He is a co-host, a special guest host on Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place, and the filming went on longer than they thought it would, and lo and behold, I'm here by myself, which is so far been rather nice. I hope you all are enjoying it. It's a nice break. I strangely kind of miss Adam, but generally I'm elated. So, Sarah, you're 20.
Yeah.
Fiancé, no physical elements, and you're a psychology student, and you thought, I better practice what I'm learning about.
Yeah.
Go see a therapist, and what happened?
Well, I went to the MSTC, and I just told her that I just been petrified of doing it. I'm in a very supportive relationship. And
have you ever had a physical intimacy before?
Huh?
Have you ever had sex before?
No.
Never? With anybody?
Never, nobody.
What's scaring you?
I just get frightened of the whole thing. We even gotten really close a couple times, and I just started crying.
Okay, what happened?
See, that's the thing. I have no memories of sexual abuse. I grew up in boarding schools my whole life.
Oh, well, all right. So abandonment stuff, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
How old were you when you first sent away?
About 7.
What was that like?
It felt kind of like by yourself. It's kind of like dorm living at a younger age.
Was it horrible?
No, the people were very nice.
But what was the feeling?
Just kind of like...
I mean, lying in bed at night alone away from home, God knows how far away you were. Was it horrible?
It didn't feel too good, if that's what you mean.
All right, that's what I mean. And you see, you're a psychology student, so I expect more of you. You're avoiding all this. You can't even answer those questions straight with me because that must have been very painful.
Yeah, it was, but I never really tied that to my sexuality.
Well, sexuality is just a primitive expression of all kinds of things, right? But understand, if your primary relationships were abandoning, why would you open up and be vulnerable in any other relationship?
Well, see, he's been like the first person that I felt really, really close to, so that's kind of the confusing part as well. Why? I don't know if I make any sense here.
But sex is going all the way in terms of being vulnerable and connecting with somebody and really being out of control and powerless.
Yeah.
In a relationship with somebody. And if you're afraid that person is going to be abandoning, it's very hard to lose control. Am I not right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Something in there. And by the way, your parents are the kind of people that would send away a 7-year-old. So God knows what your early...
I think, well, they love me very much.
Sarah, I could never, ever send my kid at 7 to anywhere. I can barely go to work in the morning. That's my pathology. To send them away for months at a time is unthinkable. Unthinkable.
I went straight from boarding school to college.
Unthinkable. Unfathomable. I can't imagine parents like that. And that's the people that brought you up after in intimacy. I mean, in infancy. And it may be that there is also some rather rapid abandonment at some point during your early development. In other words, maybe they were able to care for you as an infant and whatnot, but when you really started...
Well, I had a nanny, too, before I went to boarding school.
See, come on.
So,
did you have brothers and sisters?
No, none.
Oh, my God.
But
hey, listen. It's amazing you're as full and wonderful as you seem to be. Amazing.
I try to be.
You're a survivor. But the ultimate task lies ahead, and that is the interpersonal experience. And that's where all our craziness always comes out. And so it's time. You're 20. You're a psychology student. No accident you're studying that stuff either. But don't be afraid of those painful feelings, because getting into those in a safe environment with a good therapist is where the answers are right now.
Well, see, that was one of my questions that I had for you, is that my therapist actually, I don't know if she's saying the same thing you are, but she said that I'm kind of creating fear that's not there, and I should just go ahead and
if you can, that's great. That maybe you'll be able to grow through it in the expression in the relationship, but maybe not. and maybe you're forcing something that wouldn't feel so hot to you. I don't know.
Are you concerned that I'm like neglecting his needs in the situation?
No, forget it. For a minute. For a few more minutes. Anyway, look, he's hung in for 2 years. He obviously cares very much about you. Right?
Yeah.
And stay with the therapy. Do it for real. If you're going to be a therapist, is that what you want to be?
I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, you're going to have to go through this stuff. You got to get your material out of the way if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And you can look at it as a learning experience, and it's not going to be very fun. A friend of mine, a psychiatrist, said, I'm an internist. I work in psychiatric hospitals, so I'm familiar with all this stuff, but I don't do the work. And a friend of mine, who's a psychiatrist, said, if you're enjoying therapy, something wrong with the therapy. It shouldn't feel good most of the time. It's painful, difficult for the real growth to go forward. Mike, 20.
How you doing, Drew?
I'm all right. I'm alone.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. I really like Adam. He's a funny guy. But it's nice. You're actually getting all your calls today.
You're depressing.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's just you.
What's that?
It's really sad. It's just you.
Yeah, really.
Can't say that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting a uterus with my penis.
It's more of a, it's a chemical. And I was wondering about the consequences of it and the actuality of it harming you.
Of what? Mushrooms?
Mushrooms.
Well, I'm not familiar with any data that documents exactly what's going on with mushrooms. I can tell you from my clinical experience that essentially all drugs that cause hallucinations as a result of their primary effect on the brain. I want to make sure I'm being clear here. That is to say, if you have a hallucination from a side effect of medication, I'm not talking about that. But a drug whose effect is only to cause an hallucination, and usually vivid hallucinations, seem to damage brain. All of them. Marijuana is hallucinogenic in high doses, LSD, psilocybin, mushrooms, peyote, PCP even, ecstasy. These all drugs that seem to cause brain damage. Now, how much and over what period of time, and is it reparable, and one drug relative to another? We don't have that kind of information. And as a matter of fact, I've never seen anything that I would call damage from mushrooms. Now, I don't know if that's because people don't take big enough doses or use enough of it or frequently enough or whatever, but I've not seen it. It concerns me. I believe I'm going to see it, but so far I haven't. Ronnie's 23. Ronnie, what's up?
Yeah. I really want to stop cheating on my boyfriend. I haven't now for about 6 months, but I'm pregnant. That's probably why I haven't. He wants me to get a paternity test. The last time
So he knows you've been cheating?
I haven't admitted it, but yeah, I'm sure he knows.
Well, if he wants a paternity test,
well, because we had gotten into an argument, and I went out one night. That was the last time that I cheated on him. I went out, and I stayed out all night. And
why in God's name are you doing this?
I don't know. I don't want to at all. I love him very much.
What's up with him?
We've been best friends for like 9 years.
All right.
We've been together about 14 years.
You can drop for me all the pleasantries about the relationship. Tell me what's wrong with it.
Other than the fact that he's gone, he's in Texas. I had to come out here.
Why is he gone?
He's in the Army.
So he has to be gone.
Yeah. I was living out there with him, and I had to come.
Were things going okay before he left?
He didn't leave. I left.
Ronnie, you just said he left and went to Texas because he's in the Army.
No, he's in the Army. I was in Texas. I left back to California.
Why?
Because to take care of a divorce and custody with my kids.
And what was the divorce all about?
My husband I don't know, we've been separated for like 2 years.
Did he hit you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you go for abusive guys.
My boyfriend's not like that, though.
Well, that may be the problem.
He's a great guy.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and
you can't tolerate that.
Yeah, I don't want to. Oh, God, it's terrible. I don't want to. I want to stop. He told me,
Your dad abused you? Physically?
No, not physically.
Sexually?
I think so. I get these flashes. I get, like, when I sleep with these people, when I cheat on my boyfriend, it's like I feel like I'm a little kid, in my bed, and I can't say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're trying to make it happen right, finally. Somebody let me empower myself in one of these horrible situations. I've got to do it again until I get it right, until they love me, until I am powerful. And guess what?
What?
It doesn't work like that. I don't know. Nobody's ever been able to satisfactorily explain why humans do that, but they do it. I don't know. I try to think of it from two perspectives. Just why? And secondly, what the hell could the evolutionary advantage of the human species be to being put together like that? And I can't come up with an answer for either, but they do it. And it usually doesn't get better without treatment, Ronnie.
I want to. I've been trying so hard. I mean,
we'll get some treatment.
What, just like go to a therapist or something?
Yeah.
Is there some place you could recommend? Because it's not like I have money or anything.
Where are you?
Canoga Park.
Shoot. I would maybe start at UCLA or Northridge. Well, UCLA. Start at UCLA. Neuropsych Institute, and see if they have any pro bono services or know of any community-based services in that area. In Pasadena, there's Foothill Family Services. Okay, that's an excellent organization. Check that out. Maybe you ought to call there first. Foothill Family Services in Pasadena. They, if they can't help you, they can probably refer you to somebody who can.
Okay.
And maybe try some support groups, some survivors groups. Do you any addiction in your family of origin?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Start with the Foothill Family Services. Hopefully that will be something. If you really want to stop, which most people, when they really want to stop. All right, Joe, 18.
Hi.
Hey.
My question was basically, it's about unfaithfulness, and basically I've been looking for a reason, an answer to my own unfaithfulness with my girlfriend. We've been going out for 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years, and everyone wants this great relationship that we have, and I'm basically looking for answers. I've been looking for a reason for this, and I was wondering if it could have anything to do with adoption, because you mentioned that earlier.
I don't want to casually toss off problems as necessarily related to adoption. I mean, that creates some stuff, but it doesn't have to mean you're going to have trouble in relationships. How many times have you been unfaithful?
It's not like a physical unfaithfulness. It's more of an emotional unfaithfulness.
Explain.
Basically, I think I'm into this whole saving thing, how you talk about.
Yeah.
And I think I get into that. And
with whom?
Basically, I just find I look for a bond with a girl that it's something I would be jealous of if she did it, but it's, I don't get very physical with it.
Well, Joe, here's my just briefest of interpretations of this. You're clinging to this relationship you've been in for 3 years. You're afraid to leave that. God knows people that do a lot of saving also do a lot of clinging, and it may be time to wrap this thing up. It's normal for a relationship that begins at 15 to kind of wrap up and end and go on so you can really establish yourself as a peer as you become an adult and figure out who you are and what you want in relationships and explore some of these relationships that you want to have, but don't get stuck in these enmeshed relationships where you're clinging and being the nice guy and doing what's perfect and right for the relationship. Get on, become an adult, figure out what you want. And we will be back. This is Dr. Drew. LoveLine 1-800-LOVE-191. I'm by myself tonight. Adam is out being a star.
Just let me enjoy my weenie, please.
I'm sure that's what he's doing right now. He is a co-star in Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. I don't know when they're going to air that, but he will be back tomorrow night. He may even be in here tonight. He was going to try to get, when the shooting ends, coming over here, but I won't hold my breath. In fact, if he buzzes to come in, just lock him out and forget it. We'll be back in a second.
LoveLine, Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Phone number's 1-800-LOVE-191.
We'll be right back.
WEBN.
We're the G spot on your radio dial.
Oh, yeah, right there.
LoveLine on 102.7.
Oh.
WEBN, Cincinnati.
Oh, God. Oh.
Sue, 28.
Yeah, hi. I'll try to relate it a little bit to your topic.
No, don't worry about it. Let's stay away from the topic. The hell with it.
First of all, I'm a lesbian. I've been in 3 relationships. The first 2 ended with my partner cheating on me, both of them. This last one was, I felt like the best relationship. The person treated me really well. It was a solid, honest, good relationship.
But what happened?
I still got dumped.
She dumped you or what?
Yeah, every relationship I've been dumped, and
Tell me exactly what happened in this relationship. Let's just look at this one.
This last one.
Yeah.
It was. I felt like it was a good relationship. We were close.
And then what happened?
And I was kind of wanting to make some changes in terms of growing, moving forward. I think a little bit more commitment in the relationship, and I think she maybe wasn't. And
what does that mean? You asked her to marry you?
No, just.
Are you in a state where they can do that kind of thing?
No, not like that. But just we were already living together, and just a little bit more solid in terms of the commitment, and just wanted to do some growth with my work and that sort of stuff. And
Sue, you're being really vague. Give me 2 sentences on how this relationship ended and why.
She just said she didn't want to be in it anymore. She just didn't really give me a real specific reason.
And were you living together at the time?
Yeah, we were living together.
And she moved out?
Actually, I moved out.
And that was that?
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm having a really hard time letting go of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how to let go of it. That's the thing. I have such a hard time with these breakups.
I bet in the past what you did was just got in another relationship. Am I right?
Pretty much. I mean, this has been like over 6 months now, which has pretty much been the longest time I haven't been in a relationship. And I feel like I want to be, but I don't want to go through this again.
What does being alone mean to you? I mean, what is that? What is the problem with being alone? Why is that experience unpleasant?
I don't like it at all.
Why? I can tell. Why?
Just that empty feeling.
Right. What is that emptiness all about?
I just don't want to be like alone the rest of my life.
What makes you think you will be? I mean, it's not so. I think what I'm hearing you say is that the emptiness is intolerable and it feels like it's going to go on forever.
Yeah.
Which is different than I look at my situation, I'll never have a relationship. It's just this emptiness and is intolerable. Why? Why do you feel so empty? Why do you have to fill that hole with relationships that don't work?
Because I feel like when I'm in a relationship while it's working, I feel the best I ever feel.
Nope. I agree, but that's not what I'm asking.
Okay.
You have a big old cannonball in your stomach, right?
Right.
That's what you walk around with all the time.
Right.
Where'd that come from?
Well, when I'm not in a relationship, I have that.
That's right. Where'd it come from originally?
I guess my parents. I don't know.
What'd they do to you?
Not much. I mean, I think they just weren't there. I mean, I definitely was hit all the time.
Okay, so you were physically abused. You were an empathic failure. They couldn't see you as a separate person. They beat the crap out of you.
Probably. I mean, I don't know if that.
I mean, how could you ever develop the resources or the sense of yourself to be separate and alone in those kinds of primary relationships? I mean, think about that. Well, all you needed was your parents just to be present and supportive and allow you to grow up. But instead what you got is people who were intrusive and violent and annihilating. I mean, for God's sake.
Yeah, or I think more they would just ignore me. I think
I understand that, but when they came around with their hand or a belt or something else.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Definitely.
I mean, of course.
I was knocked out numerous times when I was young. And
I mean, at a time in your life, my God, when what you need is just a parent who's understands you just want to grow up and be a person. And my God, and what you get is just this horrible, painful affliction from the people that are supposed to help you grow. And you get stuck, and you get a big hole inside you, and you start finding ways to avoid that feeling. And if you had the biology of drug addiction, you'd be a drug addict.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I don't do any drugs.
Yeah, I understand. You don't have that biology going. If you did, you'd be a drug addict. But instead, you found these lovely relationships that probably, in some fashion, reenact those early abuses, and then reenact the abandonment. And then here you are.
Well, yeah, and my dad left really early on and
of course.
Stuff like that.
Of course.
So how do I not, I feel like I don't know how, I get dumped all the time, and I don't know how to change that, or I don't know.
Well, it is the choices you make in your relationships that set you up at the beginning for the abandonment later on. I don't know, Sue. I think to get over that kind of abuse, if you really are interested in doing it, I mean, I would look into some... I mean, there are two ways I think that people can grow through these sorts of things. One is some sort of 12-step model where people learn to develop intimate connections with their peers in the structure of a 12-step, which is basically just a formalized kind of a relationship. or psychotherapy, which is another kind of controlled relationship, just so you get the connections you need to develop. Understand that human beings do not develop. You cannot grow, really, by reading a self-help group or just sitting back and thinking about your problems. Think about an infant. Infants left alone, without an adult, wither and die. That's literally what happens. And in order for an infant or even a young child to grow normally emotionally, there has to be an empathic, and I mean an understanding by empathic, connection with another person, preferably an adult. And then the child just grows. Naturally, it just happens. And unfortunately, the way our world is today, the parents don't deliver on that. The kids get stuck, and they grow up with big empty holes and distorted senses of themselves and worthless. And they get these relationships that confirm all that. And in order for that development to start up again, there has to be a controlled relationship that is empathic, and that's what therapy and 12 steps are all about. So anyway, let's go on to Andrew. I think I'm boring everybody. He's 15. Andrew, what's going on there?
Hey, what's up, Dr. Drew?
Not much. What's with you? I'm alone. Adam's out. 1-800-LOVE-191. I'm enjoying the hell of this night. I feel like somebody who's sort of been... Like I'm a skydiver that always had somebody strapped to my back pulling the cord for me, and I'm finally doing it on my own.
Dr. Drew's right.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing a good job, man.
Well, thank you, Andrew.
All right. Well, I got a little problem where my hair seems to be falling out. And
in patches or diffusely throughout your scalp?
It's just everywhere. I'll run my fingers through my hair, and I'll usually get one or two hairs, and then I'll comb my hair, and then big clumps will come out.
Are you on any medication?
No medication.
Do you have any medical problems?
No, not that I know.
Were you on any medication within the last 6 months?
Nope.
You have any car accidents or major traumas or anything like that?
No.
Nobody died or been depressed or anything?
Not really, no.
And you don't see any patches, where it's like little bald spots?
No, it's getting a little thin in the back.
It's thinning everywhere?
Yeah.
There's something called alopecia areata, which is these patches of hair falling out.
Yeah.
And can be caused by medication, can be caused by stress, can be caused by traumatic experiences, can be caused by nothing specific. Alopecia totalis, which is where everything falls out of your scalp, very rare, very unusual.
Okay.
But, Andrew, if you're not telling me that you have any of the usual sorts of stress that cause this, I'd get a medical evaluation just to make sure there's not a thyroid problem.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be a gland problem or something like that.
Yeah. You have any other symptoms?
No, not really.
Get it checked out, all right?
Okay, well, thanks.
All right, Andrew, my pleasure.
Bye.
Richard, 22, what's up there?
Yes, I've been together with an individual for about 4 months now.
Yes.
And both of us, we touch each other. We've been thinking about having sex, and
yes.
Okay. Okay, we're not at that point yet. Okay, and it turns us both on, and she gets frustrated. Therefore, I do, because I myself, I'm not coming, and I just want to know
Richard.
Pardon?
State your question in one sentence.
Okay. What would be the okay.
Richard, ask your question. Come on.
Okay. What would be the problem if she's obviously touching me and there's nothing happening.
Anybody else understand that question?
What exactly is she doing to you?
Okay.
What are you doing?
Okay. Well, she's okay, over there with my private part. She's trying to turn me on and everything. I get turned on, but
I think he has a problem with intimacy. Because he can't even talk about it.
Richard?
Yeah?
I want you to formulate a sentence that helps me understand what your question is. I'm going to go to somebody else in the meantime. Rachel, 15.
Hello.
Hi, Rachel. What's up?
Let me just say, I love your show.
Thank you. Even without Adam, or are you even listening to it without Adam?
Adam can go screw himself.
Oh, Rachel, yes. All right, what's going on?
He's funny. My question for you has to do with, I consider myself depressed.
Yeah.
And I have for a long time, but I've had a lot of problems getting help. And I think a big part of it has to do with my parents.
Well, at 15, you're sort of dependent on them to get help, aren't you?
Yeah, I really
Have you told them you want help?
I've begged them, and
Let me tell you something about being a parent.
oh no.
This is the one thing I can offer about that. You don't, all parents, healthy or otherwise, I think, I'm saying this because this is the way I am, you don't want to acknowledge that your kids have any problems.
I know.
It's very painful.
I know.
You don't want them to be sick. You don't want them to be depressed. You don't want them to be on drugs. And so the natural impulse is, you're okay.
I know, but see, the thing is, I've had a lot of problems since I was really little, and the biggest one, I guess, is I've cut myself ever since I was 8, and I've tried to kill myself twice.
And they will not take you to treatment?
They don't know that I've been that suicidal.
Have you been hospitalized for that?
No. Actually...
Oh, Rachel, please. This is serious.
I know it's serious.
Because this is Rachel, oh man, I'm getting a chill when I talk to you because you are the person who does it.
I know.
Okay? Please. Will you make a commitment to me?
I've tried getting help.
No, I know, Rachel, please make a commitment to me right now.
About what?
About getting help. That you will not make an attempt, you will not cut before you make some kind of contact with a professional, and I want this to be a commitment between us.
I can't do that, though.
Why?
Because it's the way that I deal with my emotions.
And by the way, God bless you for being honest. Because that is the one thing that might get you through this.
Yeah, a lot of people have told me, it's pretty amazing that,
dishonesty is the worst prognosis in a situation like this, but hang with your honesty and tell me why you can't commit yourself to this.
It's the way that I've always learned to deal with my emotions, and it's like my dad's really emotional, and my mom is emotional, but she suppresses it. So I
understand that. I didn't see. You notice I'm not even getting into the reasons with you.
Oh, I know.
Okay, I know there are reasons, but I need to focus on on keeping you safe.
I don't think I can do it.
You can't get help.
I'm kind of working on it. Some of my teachers...
I want you to... Now, you're a very smart girl, right? I know that.
Yeah.
I can hear that. Here's what you came in and told me. I'm sick. I need help. My parents won't let me get help.
Yeah.
And I said, well, please commit to me that you're going to get help. And your answer is, I don't think I can do that.
Well, no, let me explain. Some of my teachers were concerned about me. I've always been a good student, and now I'm failing. And
you're depressed.
So they got me roped in with the counselor at school.
Oh, so you have made some contact.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of school social workers and things like that. And our family just moved out to Washington in June from Minnesota, and I'd never moved before. And 6 weeks before that, I'd gotten myself into professional therapy. But I had a really hard time opening up, and 6 weeks just wasn't a long enough amount of time.
Oh, of course.
And it's been really hard to adjust, and I finally found a friend that I can totally confide in, and it's helped a lot.
Good.
But the school counselor, she's there. She thinks that I really need to be in professional counseling. And there is actually, I think, a shrink in our school, and she's going to try and get me roped up with that. It's just that my parents don't think there's anything wrong with me.
You know what? Screw your parents right now.
Huh?
Screw your parents for the time being, okay? You screw
they're sleeping.
No, just screw it. Screw the parents. Don't worry about them right now. The important here is your safety.
Well, a lot of things need their signature and stuff, and they just don't approve, and...
You know what else? Here's the deal. You need some medication, too, for the time being, and I usually don't recommend that to 15-year-olds out, overtly, but when your life is in danger... You got to do what you got to do. And until the therapy can get initiated, until you get the kinds of care you need, and God knows I wish you the best with this, and you have everything it takes. I can hear how your mind works. You have what it takes to get connected and do well, but you have to do it because you have to do it.
I know, but it's just without their support and their help, it makes it so much harder.
I know. Well, Rachel, I don't know if everybody who's listening can hear what I hear in you, but you sound like a wonderful person. You're just not worth sacrificing because your parents are ignorant. Will you please commit to me that you will get some treatment and follow through? Please.
Well, I know I will. I've been trying
But I want a commitment from you that you'll really see it through.
I will.
Okay.
Because I'm sick of feeling this way.
You don't have to feel this way.
I feel like crap all the time.
It doesn't. Life does not have to be like that. Okay.
I know it doesn't.
I promise.
It's the little things that keep me happy.
Well, stay connected with that friend. Know that you need the full spectrum of professional care and that you can get better. I promise. Okay.
I don't know how to get that help.
But you're with the counselor at school. They're recommending you to a therapist there. I'm telling you need medication as well. And I'm going to need some medication in a minute, Adam.
Oh, Drew, you're driving the show into the ground, buddy.
Buddy? You sound kind of desperate there calling me buddy. You been drinking or something?
Hey, dude, I'm at the park. I need you to pick me up.
So you're on the set of Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
Yes, I am.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I was on hold for the last 5 minutes and this close to killing myself.
Spell me then.
Drew, you have to weave some
shut up.
into the show. Please.
You know what's nice? You know what's really nice about sitting here and you being there?
What?
I can hang up on you if I want to. Oh, this is awesome. No, he's back.
We're pals.
Yeah. For the first time.
All right. So you're floundering and miserable without...
No, I'm having a blast, actually. But I will admit, you're missed.
Oh, thank God. Well, I'm over here at the Fox studio. And
all right. You're the big star.
Yeah, I'm a big star. I'm wearing a tuxedo right now.
Oh, the way you usually go around in your limousine when you're seen in public. You've never had a tuxedo on your whole GD life.
I just got chewed out by the security guard.
For what?
Well, I opened the stage door while the red light was on.
Oh.
And because I had to take a leak. And he said to me when I came back from the bathroom, he looked me right in the eye and he goes, when you open that door with the red light on, you do two things. One thing you do is you say to everyone in the audience, it's okay to do the same thing. The next thing you do is, would you like it if someone did that during your scene? Do I need that kind of abuse? I'm a big star. Anyway, Drew?
Yeah, I just want you to know.
Everything's going good here, but we're about 4 hours behind schedule.
Oh, that's nice. Let me be very clear. I have never seen you in a tuxedo.
Oh, man, do I look good. I not only have the tuxedo on, but I have the makeup on and the woman chasing after me making sure everything's in place.
And if in this segment, where allegedly are you coming from in a tuxedo in a limousine?
I'm carrying notes, and obviously I'm about to address a large audience somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Probably like the Shine Awards.
Yeah, okay. Now, describe for our audience what it's actually like when you and I are carted around in front of a large audience.
I am wearing a hefty trash bag and a rope for a belt.
And what kind of car are we in?
We are in a 73 Nova.
Or Vega.
That's
yes.
right.
Okay. That's our life in reality.
All right.
You're my stern but groovy master, Adam.
All right, so it doesn't look like I'm going to be in tonight.
All right.
I'll try, but
don't bother. We're fine.
All right.
Enjoy yourself.
We're having fun.
All right. Don't have too much fun.
We are.
It's you and I and Jerry Springer tomorrow night.
All right.
We should be
Better
primed.
make it.
We'll make up for it.
You're not filming anymore tomorrow night, are you?
Nope. This is it.
All right.
All right.
Enjoy.
Carry on.
Yes. Godspeed. Don't worry, I will. Godspeed. All right. That was Adam. You heard where he was. The number is still 1-800-LOVE-191. It's still just me and enjoying myself like crazy. We will go to break at this point, and I will be back with more calls.
I feel so liquidy. Really? Why? You're listening to LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. LoveLine will be right back.
Man turns animal for the erotic pleasures of women.
It's LoveLine.
All right.
WEBN.
Suck on this. LoveLine.
All of my most sensitive areas were inflamed.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
WEBN.
Welcome back to LoveLine. I'm Dr. Drew. Adam Carolla is away being a star. The number is 1-800-LOVE-191. And how come you don't give me any celebrity drops when I come into my segments? He's lazy. All right, thank you for that honest answer. Yes, we're getting honest and real here tonight without Mr. Carolla, and it's quite pleasurable. I guess. I want to give Richard another chance to express himself. Richard was the gentleman, 22, having difficulty telling me what actually his question was. What's going on, Richard?
Okay, I thought it over.
Yes?
Okay, my girlfriend, she does touch me with my penises, and I do get an erection, but I do not come.
Are you on any medication?
No medication.
Have you ever had an orgasm?
Yes, I have.
By yourself?
Yes.
How about with a woman?
No.
Are you anxious when you're with her?
Sometimes I am.
Do you have intercourse?
No. We are thinking about that. We're leading up to it.
All right, just relax, Richard. You ever been with a woman before? This is first experience?
She's done it.
No, you.
Okay, yeah, it's the first time. Yeah.
Your first woman.
Yeah.
Are you always this anxious, or is it just because you're on the radio?
Sometimes I'm anxious.
But this anxious?
Well,
I'm afraid your head's going to explode in a second, Richard. No. Are you this anxious normally?
No, not normally.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you this anxious when you're with her?
No.
No.
I'm very relaxed.
With her?
Yes.
All right. Relax. Don't. This will take care of itself. I mean, I don't know if it's just that some preference you have that whichever she's doing isn't working for you. But as this relationship evolves and you begin to get more intimate and a greater range of physical intimacies, if you can relax and if everything is otherwise okay medically in your life and you're not on medication, the vast majority of 22-year-old males will function. Lee?
Yes, sir.
You're 27.
Yes, I am.
What's the question?
I got two questions. First question is, about 2 years ago, I quit drinking because I got in some trouble. I went through therapy, been going to AA classes and all that other stuff. Now, the problem is I'm having trouble meeting women. I don't like to date anybody from work because that can bring problems to the workplace.
What do you do for a living?
I work in a warehouse at night. 90% of guys, but we do have women that are there. And
Lee, you sound like a handful to me.
No. Sound like a what?
A handful.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
I don't buy that you're involved in recovery.
Okay.
Nobody in recovery calls AA classes.
No, AA meetings. I say classes. I've been through substance abuse classes and AA meetings. Now,
I'll make a prediction.
Okay.
You don't have a sponsor.
I do have a sponsor, but it's only a temporary.
All right.
I've only been going to AA for about a year. And I've been getting temporary sponsors here and there.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you're not with the program. I mean, you've been not drinking for 2 years. You still smoke pot?
No, I don't smoke pot. I have never done drugs. Alcohol was my drug of choice.
You're hanging out in the program. Why don't you get with the program?
Program's good. I like it, but I don't know. People at the AA meetings that I attend, I guess I haven't found the right one. That's why I haven't really got a permanent sponsor.
All right.
It's because I keep going from meeting to meeting, not have like a home group or whatever.
All right.
And I don't know, they're like addicted to AA.
I know. It feels like that right at this point. But what you need, Lee, is a relationship with a sponsor and to hunker down and work the steps. And don't worry quite so much about the meetings at this point, but do worry about your comfort and connection with the sponsor and decide who that person is and start working.
It'll come sooner or later.
And then I now feel guilty for calling you a handful. What I was getting from you was all the sort of bravado and stuff that I'm sure you're sort of used to putting out, and you've got something behind that. Okay. There's some substance here, and you've got the capacity to really grow. And I think if you start making connections with people, magically some women will come into your life.
Yeah, because my first priority in life is making a commitment to myself to not drink.
But that you unless you work a program, and this is a biological fact, and people have real difficulty accepting this, you will drink again. And if you work a program, magically you won't drink, and magically some quality people will enter your life because you will suddenly become very attractive to all kinds of people.
Okay.
And you won't have to worry about meeting the people at the bars and struggling to find relationships. They will happen to you.
I've already been told I'm a hell of a lot lot nicer guy without drinking.
Well, but you're also even a nicer guy than you think you are, I think. So somewhere my words are going to ring in your head someday. You are a nicer and more substantial person than you've ever known yourself to be.
Yeah, probably.
But you got to give yourself a chance, and this is so interesting to me that you've hung around the program and stayed clean, but not really worked the program. There's something there that's scaring you, but if you get through that,
that's probably commitment. I'm afraid of commitment.
Yeah, you got to commit yourself to the relationship with the sponsor, and then work the steps, and then and just hang with it for a while.
I got a second question real quick. That drug, androtestosterone, that Mark McGuire was taking.
Androstenedione.
Yes. What are some of the effects of that? And is it addictive?
Well, it's a complicated question. It's an androgenic hormone. It is a congener. It's a relative of testosterone. Think of all the things that testosterone does: hair growth, aggression, muscle growth, strength, and many other things. But those are the things that people sort of identify with testosterone. Androstenedione does to some extent. Is it addictive? Not per se, but I'll tell you what, addicts tend to be the people that use anabolic steroids, particularly stimulant addicts.
That's why I was wondering if it would be a good idea for me to start it, because I'm kind of like a health nut too.
Yeah, it would be the best thing for you in terms of your overall health is to look at balance as your goal, and not muscle growth and size and strength and all that stuff. It will all that is fine, and I have no real absolute recommendations against it, but it will kind of move you in the wrong direction. Balance will be a much better approach for you, I think. So let's go to Tim, who's 15. Tim, what's going on there?
Hey, what's up, Drew?
Not much. I'm alone. It's 1-800-LOVE-191. This is still LoveLine. I hope it still sounds like LoveLine, but I'm having a great time, and Adam is on the set of Two Guys, a Girl on a Pizza Place. He's being a special guest star. And did you hear him when he called in a few minutes ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's having a great time. It sounded loaded to me.
Me?
He did.
Oh.
Adam.
Yeah, that guy was weird.
What's going on, Tim?
Well, I'd just like to say that you guys are awesome. You guys are like a cool team, and you guys are just like, I listen to you every night before I go to bed.
Well, thanks.
And you guys are cool, so.
And you had a question?
Yeah, well, I was just like wondering, I go to like a lot of raves and stuff.
And
at
15?
Huh?
At 15?
Yeah.
We can get into raves at 15?
Yeah. They'll let you in.
Wow. All right.
I mean, it's just like.
Your parents know you go to raves?
My dad, he looks really young for like. So he lets me go. I mean.
Oh boy! All right.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. He's cool.
By the way, the job of the parent to be not cool. I'm sorry, but that's the parent's job. That's the way it goes. Hey, go ahead. What's the question?
Well, I see like a lot of people like with ecstasy and stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to know like what's up with that. I mean, what?
It's a stimulant. It's an amphetamine. It's an upper that's been altered in such a way as to make it hallucinogenic. It is one of the more dangerous drugs out there. We're learning all the time the potential adverse effects of this drug. I have seen all sorts of things happen, all sorts of acute toxic reactions where people black out and go nuts and rip their clothes off and jump off buildings. I've seen people get locked in where they can't move. They can just like move their eyes and nothing else for several days. I've seen people get severely paranoid and stay that way for a while. I've seen various reactions, all of which seem to go away, frankly. I don't know of them any persisting. I have only seen 2 cases of ecstasy addiction, and those people were severely impaired. They couldn't think, they couldn't reason, they were paranoid. It was a mess. They couldn't be treated because of that either. But it seems to be a rare addiction.
So that's like in the more advanced like cases, like.
Yeah, but as I told you, in just even a single exposure, I've seen people have some very unpleasant reactions.
Well, I mean, I don't do like any other drugs. I hate like
Tim?
people. What?
I've seen people locked in, can't move a muscle except their eyes for days. 1 dose of ecstasy. Okay? Don't know why that happens.
So, like,
well, there's some theories about it, but they don't know why it happens after a single dose, or, we just don't know what rhyme or reason to why it happens when it does. I've seen people, again, black out and do very dangerous things impulsively because they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Wow. So should I try it?
And at 15, your brain is still developing, and there's an overwhelming amount of information now that the brain at that age is extremely sensitive to these drugs, and that you can actually shrink it or at least prevent it from developing further, or maybe miss some development that you would have otherwise gotten by exposing it to things. I just read some stuff the other day about alcohol and memory function. After relatively low levels of exposure to alcohol, there were sort of college-age students. They were between 20 and 29, rather substantial impairment of memory and new learning. It was amazing to me how much impairment there was. So, all right?
Okay.
Don't want to bust your high, or what do we call it? Ruin your high? Man, am I pathetic. Let's go to David. He's 30. Dave, what's going on?
Hello, Dr. Drew.
Hey there.
Love your show. God bless you. You do an awesome job.
Thank you.
I was wondering if I could maybe get a little bit of advice from you.
Maybe.
I was married quite young, about 21. I got married, met this gal when I was 20. She had a 2-year-old daughter. And 21, we married, and 8 months later, we divorced, and she left state rather abruptly.
Why'd you divorce?
Couple of reasons. My parents didn't like her. You have to excuse me, I'm really nervous.
That's right.
My parents didn't like her, and there was a lot of drinking on my part, and she didn't want to work, and we just were poor all the time, and I listened to my parents too much.
You left her, or she left you?
I asked her to leave.
All right.
And she left state.
Where'd the 2-year-old come from? What was that all about?
She was involved with a guy before I ever met her, and he was never around. He's severe alcoholic.
Okay, so she tends to get involved with alcoholics.
Yeah.
All right, what's the question?
I've been in treatment. I've been in the AA for I'll have 5 days. I'll have 11 months.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you. And in the process of making amends and stuff, is quite coincidental. By the way, I should probably tell you that I did remarry after her. My second wife I was with for 5 years, and then we got divorced, and I currently have been separated for 2.5 years. And have not dated or seen anybody since then.
Right.
And in the process of making amends, kind of coincidentally, my first wife, called me from the state she's currently living in.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, she had never really gotten over me.
All right, Dave, we got to go to break. State the question.
I want to know what your opinion is, or what your feelings are as far as me getting back together with her.
All right. Hang on. We're going to go to break. It's still LoveLine. I'm still Dr. Drew. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah, everybody now. Yes, I will be right back. LoveLine will be right back. WEBN.
Hey guys, are you tired of the same old thing night after night? Are you looking for a place where you can truly unwind?
It's not hard to swallow. We've got a frog in our throat.
Lick it up.
It's LoveLine.
WEBN.
Hey, this is Paul. This is Kevin. And this is Steve, and we're Smash Mouth, and you're listening to Love Lines with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Thank you for delivering that to me, Mike. I appreciate that. Especially Steve from Smash Mouth. Makes me feel like a little more of Adam is here. That's right. He's in our book. Adam and I wrote a book. I don't know if anybody's aware of that. And Smash Mouth, Steve particularly contributed to that. We had a lot of great celebrities. We called them up and asked them to give some information, see what they thought about certain things, and they were wonderfully cooperative and wanted to participate. And I think, although nobody's hearing about this book, there's something to be learned by reading it. So it's called the Adam and Drew book, the Dr. Drew and Adam book, Surviving Love and Life, and it's available on Amazon.com and any of your local bookstores. And if you go to Barnes & Noble, please go up to the front desk and give them a ration of crap, because they have buried the book and they're concerned about the content, which, believe me, the things we're trying to advocate are quite healthy, and so be it. Got a fax, allegedly from Steve in San Diego, even though it's from a 626 fax machine and the name at the top of the page is quite different. You say no one faxes you, so I decided to. I'm a single male who a few months ago was at a bachelor party with a stripper. During the course of the evening, I, along with others, engaged in oral sex with this woman on multiple occasions. I had no open cuts in my mouth, but what would be the risks of me contracting an STD or other infection? Mike, do people really do that at bachelor parties? Did you hear what I just said? No. All right. Well, the oral contact is just as high a risk for transmission of sexually transmitted disease in either direction, oral genital or genital oral, as genital contact. This is anytime you have a mucosal surface, like a lining of the body that's not your skin, or skin is a kind of mucosal surface, but your mouth, vagina, urethra, contacting with another person, you can transmit a sexually transmitted disease, essentially any of them.
Yes,
Mike?
they do that at bachelor parties.
They do that? They have sex with they have oral sex with the strippers?
There's lots of oral things that go on. I hear. I don't do bachelor parties myself.
Drop the I hear and tell me more about this. This is bizarre. Anne's losing it.
Anne doesn't like to hear about the bachelor parties.
Oh my God, Anne. Can you imagine
and
that?
you've always said nothing goes on. Things go on.
I've been to 2 bachelor parties, and one of them was my own, and nothing went on. Nothing. I mean, you sit there. The groom gets they pour alcohol down the groom, and you sit there and you with your eyes like propped open like Clockwork Orange or something.
Right.
And that's it.
Well, you've only been to 2. That's the only 2 you've experienced.
Too small of a sample. All right. Thank you for the scientific impression, Sherry. All right, let's get back to the calls. I was talking to David. David is 11 months sober in the program, had a relationship with an ex-wife who had a 2-year-old daughter. Clearly a very codependent relationship, David, yes?
Yes.
And then you left that when you asked her to leave, even though it sounds like she was ready to leave because you were loaded at the time and your parents were getting on her case and you believed your parents who, mom's an alcoholic, I'm going to guess?
Dad.
Dad's an alcoholic. And they, in all their wisdom, told you to leave her. You told her to get out. You married another woman, divorced her, got in the program, made contact by serendipity, and you're wondering if your higher power is giving you a message here, I bet.
Kind of, yeah. Well, in talking to her, I realized, when she had left state, my first wife, when she had left state, I didn't realize it and just found out 2 months ago that she was pregnant at the time.
Oh, with your child?
With my child.
And so you've got a child with her, too?
She lost it. She lost it in her, I think, 8th month. And she evidently had never been able to work through it because she never made contact with
me. All right, but here's my... all right, so now all that's coming up, too, right?
Right.
Let me give you one caveat, one warning. The most common reason I see people with a solid program lose it is because of a relationship.
Right. I've heard that, and they've said not to get involved or make a relationship.
For a year. Nowhere else do humans act out their craziness or get sucked into stuff more easily than in relationships. And we find it like irresistible. We just have to go in and do our old stuff and act it out and try to fix those old problems. And until you've really healed and made some substantial internal changes in the program, it is risky territory for you. And given that your sobriety should be your priority, my recommendation would be to avoid this. Now, having said all that, if you were to get into this relationship, has she been in any kind of codependency recovery?
Not that I'm aware of.
Another strike against this. I mean, you've grown since this relationship, and if she doesn't grow with you or come along, she's going to pull you back where you were. Now, if on the other hand, you said, she's in Al-Anon going every day working a program, I would be less concerned about you at least moving towards getting involved in this relationship. So let's say this. I'll put this one recommendation on the table, that you absolutely don't do it unless she's involved in some sort of codependency recovery.
Okay.
All right? Beyond that, talk to your sponsor. Let your own conscience be your guide on this one. This is now Tim. He's 23. Tim, what's going on?
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Drew.
Hey.
My question is pretty simple. Every time I have sex with my girlfriend, when I ejaculate, after that happens, the head of the penis starts getting really tender.
Tender or sort of like uncomfortable?
Tender. It's like every time she goes to touch it, it gets a sort of really high sensation.
Right. That's normal. All right?
It's normal?
Normal. She shouldn't touch it. Give it a little time. Women complain about that more than men, by the way. Andy's 20, excuse me. Andy, what's going on?
All right. To put the problem as quickly as I can.
Thank you.
I am back in a relationship with a girl I was with when I was 17 and tried to kill myself over.
Nice.
I have since found out that I am severely bipolar.
You on meds?
Oh, yeah. I'm on 4 different medications.
All right.
But we don't have anything in common when it comes to interests. She's Mormon, I'm Nordic Wiccan, and she keeps pressing, reforming and converting and all that fun stuff.
What's your question?
My question, should I give her the boot or keep her? Because I think I might love her. I don't know.
Andy.
I know it's a bad idea to get in a relationship so young and with what I got.
Yeah, the chaos. She was part of all that chaos, and she really massaged that and gratified that, and she's all part of that. You're getting better. You're getting treatment. She's still the same, right?
She's changed a little. She's starting to, question that which she was raised as, but when it comes down to it, she's
the same.
Yeah.
You're getting better. She's the same. It's part of the wreckage of your past. Not the addictive wreckage, but just part of the chaos that you were in at that time. And just to bring that relationship back into the present will sort of pull you back into that state you were in before. I suspect. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it concerns me. Beth, 30.
Hi.
Hey.
I am having a problem with this guy at work who I think is rather disgusting, and for the past few months I have been seeing him when I'm having sex with my boyfriend.
Wait a minute. What?
I mean, like, I'll picture him, and it's like the most disgusting thing I can think of.
Describe him to me.
Okay. The guy is like 50 years old. He's married, has a new baby. He's kind of a touchy-feely guy, and quite a while ago, he like touches you, when he talks to you.
Gross.
Yeah, and at one point, he was telling me something, and he brushed the back of his hand against my breast. And I kind of thought, okay, maybe that was a mistake. And then another time, he'd gotten me a present, and he was sitting down, and I came to put my arm around him to thank him, and he looked over at my breast and looked away, and then looked again and kissed it.
Kissed what?
My breast, because I was standing up and he was sitting down.
Why didn't you smack him
because
one?
I thought, I don't know what's going on. Okay, maybe that's a mistake too,
Beth, he kissed your breast. You take him and sock him.
I know, I should have. But
the next thing, is he in a position of authority at work?
He's in a position of authority.
Does he own the business?
No.
Oh, too bad. You could have had that.
But see, no one was there. No one saw it. I feel like this is a while.
Gives a rat's ass. You got to report this guy. But that's a different subject.
Okay, but there's more. My brother's girlfriend also works there with me, and they had worked together close, this guy and her, for a while, and she told me that he said that he's in love with her, and they went away on a business trip, and he asked if he could sleep next to her and all of this stuff, and the guy's married and has a baby, and that just disgusts me. And
why
is this coming into my thoughts?
Why are you fascinated with this guy?
No, I became obsessed with him. I had to share a room with him for 5 months. And besides that, he's totally pompous. He tells you how to do things that are completely...
Who does he remind you of?
I have no idea.
Has there been no one in your life like him, ever, early?
I don't think so. No. I don't think so.
Just free associate with me. Anybody?
The first person that came to my head was my dad.
Okay.
Because he's an older guy, but that's it.
Dad ever inappropriate with you?
No, never.
All right, so something about Dad with this guy. I mean, that's the only thing, that's what I expected you to say, because otherwise you would have reported this guy a long time ago.
Yeah.
You're protecting your dad.
But
he's not your dad.
No.
He's an abusive, disgusting a-hole.
But he's not, the thing is, nobody was there. He was in a position of authority. He's been there years and years and years.
You're defending him to me?
I'm also protecting my friend, I think is what it is.
Oh.
My brother's girlfriend. Because
nonsense.
she doesn't want me to say anything, because she's protecting him, I think.
Maybe, but that's her business.
But then, how do I prove anything?
You're not obliged to prove anything.
Okay.
You just go make the report.
And do you think that will help me in what's going on? I mean, I've been there a year. He's been there, 10
What else? Tell me more about this obsession you have with him. Where else is it cropping up?
I used to think about him just all the time when I was in the same room with him because I just couldn't stand being there with him. I finally got out of the room after about 5 months, and it's gotten a lot better, but now it still creeps up when I'm having sex. I'll just get the thought of him, and I'll try and associate it with something else and, like, get past it, but it still keeps creeping in, and I'll just start crying or something. And
thing going on here, and the whole dad deal and him, and
I know. I can't make sense out of it.
It's something. It's not happening for no reason, I'll tell you that. Okay. But if it is some residual sort of abuse issue, certainly standing up and asserting yourself would be a healthier direction to move things in and may cause some of these symptoms to settle down. And unfortunately, I think there's a higher priority here, and that is the sort of legal safety issues that you're in, and those need to be dealt with immediately.
You mean talking to the supervisor?
Yeah, because it's not just about you, it's about everybody else he interacts with. God knows he's already sucked this other woman into this, but who knows who else, and his wife, and this guy. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
And these people need to be taken to task. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And for you need to assert. You need to learn to assert yourself. So the next time somebody kisses your breast, you pull out
it was just on accident because that was just the closest thing there. And
oh, Beth.
I know. And then
Beth,
I know.
You're worth more than this.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Amazingly, this experience has come to a close. It's Loveline with Just Dr. Drew. 2 hours flew by for me. Everybody else has turned the radio off and gone to sleep, which is nice. I appreciate those of you who have hung in. Adam has been with the shooting of Two Guys, a Girl at a Pizza Place, which hopefully you'll be able to see in a couple weeks, but we'll go to a break for right now.
The phone number for Loveline is 1-800-LOVE-191. Loveline, I'll be right back. WEBN.
Man turns animal for the erotic pleasures of women.
It's Loveline.
All right.
WEBN.
And this is Loveline. I'm Dr. Drew, and to quote my sidekick, mercifully, the show has come to a close. Mike, how did it feel to actually hit the brakes on time and close the show on time? It's never happened.
Quite bizarre.
It's never happened before, has it? So I'm going to let it drag on just a little bit late, just as an homage to Adam here. Thank you very much for those of you who have listened. Really, very want to send my most sincere appreciation to the staff tonight, Mike for enjoying the show and for producing it, Sherry for screening some great calls, and for all of you for staying with me and participating. I hope we'll have a chance to do it again alone sometime in the not-too-distant future. Otherwise, Adam will be back tomorrow night. We'll have Jerry Springer in here, and Loveline will go on. And this is Dr. Drew for the absent Adam Mahalo, I almost said. Adam Carolla saying mahalo.
Mommy! This has been Loveline. The views expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of the staff, the management, or the sponsors of this radio station. And are probably not the views of Westwood One Entertainment. Loveline is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingle. Now, please listen to this station. Longer. Mahalo. Longer. Mahalo. Longer. Mahalo. Longer. Mahalo.